So if you have 2 blocks, that's great. If you don't really need them today, but a blanket or a long, like, strappy-like thing, that would be good. If you have an actual yoga strap, then definitely grab one of those. Playlist is in the chat, and we're gonna start on our back. So you can lie down on your backs, legs straight out, and just like take a moment to arrive. So you're on your back, legs are flopped out, almost as if you're in a little mini Shavasana. And just close your eyes. Cool. Let your feet flop out, let your hands face up towards the sky, releasing the shoulders, releasing any tension that you see in your neck or your forehead, any other part of your body. Take one more deep inhale and exhale here. And then you can let your eyes open and bend your knees and place your feet at hip width distance underneath your knees. And then you're gonna grab for your strap-like thing. My blanket is just rolled up long ways. I'm gonna pull my right knee in towards my chest and then place the blanket or whatever in the arch of your foot. So this is covering my entire foot, which is fine. It doesn't really matter as long as it's on your foot. Your right hand's on the right side of it and the left hand's on the left side. So you have a little thing that's kind of like holding up your leg. From here, you can bend your elbows a little bit more and bring your right leg towards your chest, keeping your right leg engaged. And if this feels totally fine, you can straighten out your left leg as well. And just take this at whatever degree feels nice. Make sure you still have energy in your left foot. Shoulders can be relaxed away from the ears. And just let the blanket or strap help you open up your hamstrings. One more breath here. And then you can either leave your left leg straight or bend it again, or keep it bent if it was bent before. And you're gonna put both sides of the strap into your right hand. Place your left hand on the front of your left hip. And then I like bending my elbow so it comes to touch the ground. And then just let your right leg come out to the right side. And you can take this as far as you want to go. It doesn't have to be crazy. It's the first thing we're doing. Most importantly is to keep both hips strongly down on the ground. Feel the entire back side of the left leg or the left sole of the foot pressing down onto the ground. And both feet are engaged. One more breath here. And then let the leg come back through center. Put both sides of the strap in the left hand. Place your right thumb in the crease between your right hip and your right thigh. And then really try to make sure your right hand or your right hip anchors down into the mat. And then let your right leg come over to the left side. So you should feel this in the outer edge of the right leg. That should be pretty sensational. I feel a lot. And this is a part of the leg we don't really open, the outer edge of the quad, but it connects your butt to your knee, to your calf. And if this part of the leg is really tight, you could get pain in other places like your knee or other parts of your leg. So it's good to keep this part of the leg open. And then come back to center. You can let the strap just fall to the side. Place your right sole of the foot on the ground. Place the left sole of the foot on the ground. Heel toe your feet out so they're as wide as the mat, and then knock your knees in towards one another and just come into constructive rest for a second just to let that go. One, inhale and exhale. And then bring your feet back to under hips width distance. We'll take it on the other side. Place your strap on the arch of the left foot. And then you can gently tug the left leg towards your chest, having a slight bend in it if that helps you not hyperextend. And then you can extend your right leg or not, whatever feels nice. And your eyes can come to a close at any part of this, just listening to your breath and embodying the sensation of whatever's happening in your legs. One more breath here, engaging both feet. And then bring both sides of the strap into the left hand. Your leg can bend again or it can stay where it is. And then bring your left leg out to the left side. Opening up, keeping both sides of the hip on the ground. Your right hand is on the front of your right hip to remind you of that. Shoulders are both down and relaxed. Notice what your forehead is doing. Is there tension building up in other places? And then exhale, come back to center. Both sides of the strap in your right hand. Place your left thumb in the crease of your left hip and your left thigh, kind of pressing it down and away from you. And then bring your left leg over to the right. Far it'll go. Don't need to force anything. Taking a few breaths. Notice what your right leg is doing. Is it just floppy? Try to have it engaged. One more deep inhale and exhale. Exhaling, come back to center. Bring the strap off to the side. Place your left foot down. Bring your right sole, your foot down if it isn't there already. One more time in constructive rest. Heels out towards the sides of the mat. Knees knock in towards each other. Releasing or, creating space in the lower back. Exhaling, hug both knees in towards your chest. Rock from side to side. And then on your next inhale, you can begin rocking up and down. And then when you get enough momentum, you can cross your right ankle over your left and come into an all fours position. So hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. You want energy moving out through each fingertip, pressing down into the ground. And once you have your form of this perfect rectangle, you can start taking your cats and cows, inhaling as you arch and exhaling as you round. Taking this on your own pace. If you want more of a feeling of groundedness, slowness, you can take it a little bit more slowly. If you want to speed it up, get some more energy going, you can take it a little bit faster, speeding up your breath. Your breath is your stopwatch or your clock for yoga. So whatever speed you want to go is how fast you're breathing, which lets you manipulate time, which is always nice. Take this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming back to a neutral spine. Flipping your wrists around 180 degrees, keeping the wrists underneath the shoulders. Still strongly pressing through all fingers. Make sure your thumb side of your hands are pressing down. Elbows have a slight bend in them and are pulling away from each other. And then you can take circles to the right. Relaxing your head, relaxing your jaw. You can shake your head yes and no. You can circle it the same way as your hips are going or circle it the opposite way. And you can close your eyes here too. Whatever gets you more into your body, the space, listening to your breath. Looking down at your wrists as well to notice if they're still parallel with the front of the mat. See if you can go a little bit further back towards your heels with your hips. And then come back to center and take circles to the left. Cool. Spinning both ways to get any nooks and crannies on both sides. And if one spot feels really nice to stay in, you're welcome to pause and just hang out there. Take a few more circles to the left. And then coming back through center. Come back to your neutral spine. Find your knees underneath your hips. One more breath here with your wrists flipped. And then flip them around the normal way. Firmly press your palms down into the mat, letting any sensation just ground into the ground. Place your hands a palm print in front of where they are. Tuck your toes, begin to lift your knees, and as you lift your knees, stick your butt up to the sky for downward facing dog. Immediately once you're there, bring your body forward to a plank pose. Hands underneath shoulders, feet are pressing back, your body's in one long line. And then bend the knees, stick the butt up, downward facing dog. From here, you can pedal it out, take any bends and straightens you want. You can bend quickly, take some pedals. You can bend slowly from right to left, really getting into the calves. Notice what your arms are doing. You want your triceps facing up towards the sky and your biceps facing down, as if you're wrapping your armpits in towards your face. And when you've felt you've done enough movement, make the movements a little bit smaller so you still feel energy moving through you, but it's not as visible to anyone. Taking one deep cycle of breath in this paused down dog. And on your next inhale, begin to walk yourself, your hands back towards your feet for a forward fold at the back of the mat. From here, once you're there, measure out hips width distance with your two fists in between your arches. You can have a slight bend in your knees, allows more energy to go through you and allows you to bend over a bit more. And just hang out for a second. Your hands can do whatever they want. Letting your shoulders just droop down so you feel like you're coming into a little ball. Knees are tracking over your toes. Make sure they're not knocking in. And then slowly begin to roll yourself up. Head is last to lift once you get to the top. Imagine someone's pulling down on your arms so they're not letting you come up to stand. And then once you get to the top, just shake it out, roll it out, whatever you want. Cool. Yeah, you can do a disco arm or something. So from here, you want to grab your strap again. So I'm still using my weird blanket thing, but it is fine. So you can use anything. But you want to have an overhand grip on whatever strap-like thing you're doing for the first way that we do this, and then we'll switch it up. So your arms can be like wider than shoulder width distance. And once you do this once, then you can move them around. But you want the blanket or strap to be taut. You don't want it to be like a wet noodle. So we'll start with the strap on your thighs. And then you're going to just bring it overhead, keeping your arms straight. Oh, try not to move your elbows or bend your elbows. Wow, that was very painful. And if it really hurts or something like that, just widen your hands out and then come back overhead. Oh my goodness gracious. This is really not that great. I don't know how you're feeling, but so I'm going to widen my arms more. I'm going to try not to move my head. I'm standing in one straight line. My back isn't arching or rounding, so I have one long line from my head down through my torso and down through my feet. And just hang in there and keep going. This is really good for our shoulders because a lot of us are hunched at computers all day, and this lets us really open them up and give them more mobility. Wow, I need to do this more often because I'm in a lot of pain, even if it doesn't look like it. Cool. Take 3 more. Back to front. And you'll probably hear a lot of like snap, crackle, and popping in your shoulders. My favorite cereal, Rice Krispies. So once you've done your last one, just let your arms hang out. You can roll your shoulders forward and back. And then we're going to flip the grip on the strap. So now my hands are under it as if I'm like holding it out or like serving someone a pizza, that type of thing. And this one might be a little bit harder, so I recommend widening out your arms a little bit more, but to each their own. So it might be easier this way. And same thing, just bring it up, forward and back. Cool. Notice what your feet are doing. Try to see if you can feel the big toes pressing down, the pinkies pressing down, the outer edge of the heels pressing down, and the inner edges of the heels pressing down, giving you 4 points of contact that are keeping you stable as you do something with your upper body. And notice if you've noticed your neck is clenching, your jaw is clenching, your forehead is looking concerned. Try to release it. We're just doing something with the shoulders, not trying to cause other parts of the body to cringe. But everything's connected, so it makes sense. Take 3 more. My shoulders are going to thank you. Your shoulders are going to thank you tomorrow, but today it might feel not so great. But you should do this every day. Maybe that's my New Year's resolution, to do this every day. Last one. And then you can say good riddance to the strap and just take whatever movement you want with the arms to just shake out your shoulders and let that all go. Cool. From there, inhale, bring your arms up, press your palms together overhead. Exhale, bend your hands, bend your knees over your legs. One more cycle of breath here. And then begin to walk your hands forward back into your downward facing dog. Inhaling and exhaling. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up, down dog split. Exhale, bring your right foot to your right thumb. Finding your measured knee right on top of ankle. If you need to help it with your hand, feel free to bring it forward. Place your back knee down, untuck the back toes. Finding a connection between your right knee and your right armpit if you can. Walking your hands forward and out. And then bring your arms forward, out and up, coming into Anjanae Asana. Pressing your hips forward. Hook your thumbs together. And then take some tick-tock side to side. So this feels a lot less sensational than the other shoulder thing we did, but is another mini version of opening the shoulders and the side body. Cool. Take one more to either side. And then reach your arms up towards the sky. You can look up towards the connection of the ceiling and the wall. And then place your hands down to frame your right foot. You can grab a block for this underneath your left hand if you have one. I'm going to leave my hand on the mat. Strongly bend into your right knee so you see that it's over your right ankle, and arc your right arm up and over bring your left foot towards your butt and try to grab for your right foot or your right ankle with your right hand. Yeah, so left foot, left ankle with right hand. And if you can't reach it, that's the point of the block. So you can have one block, that'll help you connect more easily. Or you can have two blocks, whatever feels nicer. And as you press your hips forward more, pressing your right foot in or your left foot in towards your left butt. And at the same time, allowing your hand to help you pull it in. You can gaze over your right shoulder if that's comfortable. Otherwise, you can just look down and out in front of you. And if this really doesn't feel good, you can take another variation of some sort of lunge twist. One more breath. And then let that go without flinging it. Swim your right arm over, place it on the outer right side of your right foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and then begin to straighten into the right leg. Another good place for blocks or block-like things like a book or board game or a speaker. And you can straighten as much into the right leg as you can, keeping your hips in the same line. So if someone stuck a stick into your hips, it would go like this. It wouldn't go like that or like that. One more cycle of breath. You can sway your hips from side to side. You can shake your head out. And then bend back into your right knee. Move the blocks, place your hands back down, and step it back, downward facing dog. From here, you can take any sort of rinse out that you want. If you want to do chaturanga and that's in your practice, go for it. If not, come into your plank pose and then let your hips drop a bit for a tuck-toed up dog. And then bend your knees, stick your butt up, downward facing dog. One more time, inhaling your vinyasa of choice. And exhale, bend the knees, stick your butt up. Take one deep inhale and exhale here, coming back to your down dog. On your next inhale, lift your left leg up, down dog split, toes still point to the ground. Exhale, left foot, left thumb. Finding your measure, knee right on top of ankle, knee tracking over toes. Place your back knee down, untuck the back toe so the top of the right foot is pressing down into the mat. Find the connection between your left armpit and your left elbow. And then bring your hands a little bit more forward and out. And then reach them forward, out, and up, coming into Anjanae Asana. Cool. Now hook the opposite thumb on top and come into your TikToks. I need to stop saying this word. I don't use the app enough to use this word enough. Although I want to. Take a few more. See if your arms can be a little bit more straighter and reach up to the sky more. And when you're evened out, come back to center. Bring your arms straight up on either side. Look at the connection between the ceiling and the wall. And then let your hands come back down. Strongly place your right hand down into the ground or a block like the other side. Kick your right foot in towards your butt and swim your left arm around and back, grabbing for your right foot, your right ankle. So swim your left arm around. I don't know which one I said. And you can look over your left shoulder. You can look in front of you, but notice what your left knee is doing. Make sure that it's still tracking over the left toes. Pressing your hips forward. Pulling your foot in towards your butt. One more deep breath, feeling everything connected. Shoulders away from the ears. Then let it go gently, swimming your left arm forward, coming to the outer edge of the left foot. Tuck your back toes, zip your back knee, and then blocks under hands if you need them, coming into both legs straight. Back heel is still up off the ground. If your left leg is still bent, that's totally fine. Using whatever energy by pressing down into the front of the left foot. to allow your leg to come straight in any sort of amount is good. And you can let your head shake around. You can sway your hips. Whatever keeps you okay in this pose. And then let that go. Bend into your front knee. Hands back down on the mat. Come back into your downward facing dog. Take whatever vinyasa you want, inhaling forward and exhaling back. One more time. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. Finding your down dog. Deep breath, inhale and exhale. And then place your knees down so you're coming into your all fours position for a hot sec. You're going to sit to either side and then swing your legs around in front of you. So we're in staff pose. So your legs are straight out in front of you. Your feet are still at hips width distance. Your toes are flexed up towards the sky. So you have engagement in your legs. Imagine that you're standing on them. And then you can straighten your left leg, hug your right knee in towards your chest, and place it next to your left thigh. Cool. So hug it in, sit up tall. You want to feel that there's one long line going from where you're sitting down up through your head up to the sky. And then you're going to hug your right knee with your left arm. Place your right hand behind you. And then just spin yourself over to the right, still sitting up tall. Inhaling, lengthening, and exhaling, seeing if you can twist over. Keep on thinking that as you breathe in this twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Knee is still hugging in towards the chest and facing front. Still sitting up very tall on both sits bones. Exhaling, come back to center. And just take a little twist over to the left side. Coolio. Straighten out your right leg. Find it straight on the ground. And hug your left foot in towards your chest, placing the left sole of the foot down on the ground next to the right thigh. And just hug both in, finding your seat. You don't want to be hunched. You want to be sitting up tall. I'll do it sideways for fun. And then place your left hand behind you, hug your left knee in towards your chest, and then spin yourself around. Still sitting up very tall. Inhaling, letting the top of the head shoot towards the sky, and exhaling, turning around to see what's behind you. Engaging both feet, engaging both knees. Cool. A few more cycles of breath. Shoulders are down, away from the ears. Getting a new perspective by twisting around yourself. Nice. Exhaling, coming back to center, spinning over to the right side for a counter twist. And then bring your left leg out straight. Let your legs just shake out for a second. And then bring yourself into boat pose. So bring your knees up in towards your chest, your arms out in front of you. You're using your core and your abs to try to stay here. Stay here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then this time, cross your left ankle over your right. Let yourself spin over your legs, knees back, come back into your downward facing dog. Take a vinyasa of your choice, either chaturanga, or just an up dog, or you can stay in down dog, whatever you like. And then deep breath in your dog. And exhale, walk your hands back towards your feet one more time. Cool. So find your hips with distance. And this time, interlace your hands behind your neck. Allow your elbows to come in towards your face, and then really just tuck your head in towards your chest and let yourself hang over your legs. You can sway your upper body. Few more cycles of breath. And then leaving the arms here, you're going to roll up as you did before, but roar slowly and let your head really be the last to lift. And once you come up to the top, you can bring yourself into a little mini back bend, letting your elbows come out. And then let your arms go down. Shake it out, roll it out. So now we're going to come into a little bit of a standing balance. So place your hands on your hips, bring all the weight into your left foot, and then bring your right knee in towards your chest. Cool. We'll do this twice on both sides. So if you want to try it differently the first time, that's great. So we're here, we're standing on one leg. You're going to bring your left hand to the outer edge of your right knee. Cool. Finding your balance here, still having your spine super tall. And then if you can try to grab for the outer edge of the right foot. Still keeping the spine super tall. From here, you can come into the full expression. You can straighten your right leg. You can reach your right arm behind you. You can look forward, side, or back behind you. And you can take any variation of this. You can keep your right knee in towards your chest and reach your arm back. You can keep your hand on your hip and reach your leg forward. You can just keep your right hand on the outer edge of the right foot the whole time. And if you fall, awesome. One more breath. And then let that go. Coming back out of it the way you came in. Right foot comes down to the ground. Cool. Other side. Bring your left knee up towards your chest. Find your balance here. See what it's like to stand only on the right foot. And then right hand on the outside of the right knee. Find your balance. Right hand grabs the left foot. Find your balance. And then take it however much you want. Your right leg can be a tiny bit bent if that gives you more stability to stand. Take one more cycle of breath. And then come out of it the way you came in, bending into the left knee, hand on your hip. Step it back down. Cool. One more time to either side. A little bit faster getting into it. Bending your knee and taking whatever variation you want to take. Cool. Right arm, if it's extended, is coming straight out in the same line as the shoulder. Shoulders are away from the ear. Right foot is super flexed. Gaze is strong but soft. One more breath. Bending into the left knee, spin yourself back to the front and come back to stand. You can shake it out. Cool. Last time. Bringing your left knee in towards your chest, taking whatever variation you want. Feeling all four corners of the right foot pressing down. Feeling your hand strongly on your foot. Shoulders are down, energy out through the left fingertips. Still feeling one strong line from the ground out through the crown of your head. One more breath. And then bend your left knee, come back through center, and then really shake it out. Bah, bah. Okay. From here, inhale, bring your arms up, press your palms together. Exhale, forward fold, bend over your legs. Sway from side to side for a second, letting anything that just happened go. It's over, whether it was great or not for you, it's over. Walk your hands back out to your downward facing dog. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up, down dog split. Toes face towards the ground, have a slight bend in your left knee, and then bend your right knee, open your hip up. Take a few circles with the right knee in both directions. Notice what your shoulders are doing. They should be in the same line. And then extending through the right leg, bring your right knee behind your right wrist for pigeon on this side. So if you have a blanket, I recommend using it underneath for pigeon, even if you are super flexible. It's nice to have something bring the ground closer to you. It allows your muscles to relax a little bit more, and then you can just get deeper into your hips. So placing that underneath your hips, your butt, finding yourself tall, and then letting yourself walk out over your right shin. And if you want, you can place blocks somehow down in front of you, in front of the shin, so you have something for your chest to rest on, and then under your forehead for something for your head to rest on. And you can take whatever feels nice. If you have another way that you like to set yourself up, feel free to do that. Elbows can come as wide as the mat so your hands and arms make like a diamond shape. Just breathe, thinking back to the first few breaths you took on your back, doing nothing, letting gravity just allow you to melt into the ground. A few more cycles of breath. Feeling your hips at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Feeling the sensation in the right side of your hip. Relaxing your jaw. And then begin to walk yourself back up. Cool. So you're going to remove all props that are around you or under you. And then you're going to bring your legs kind of into a pinwheel position. So your right leg is going to come into like more of a 90-degree angle, and your left knee is going to come into the same behind you. I don't really know how to do this standing up, but I hope this side view helps. Great. Okay. So from here, you're seated up tall on both your hips, and we're just going to take some twists to the right and left, just getting more into this part of the hip. So as you inhale, walk your hands over to the right. And you don't need to go down at all. You can just feel this in your hips. Both knees are kind of at 90-degree angles, so you look kind of like a pinwheel, if that means anything to you. And then come back through center. And then come over to the other side. And you probably won't go down that far because this is a very weird twist bend over thing, but it feels nice. And then come back through center. And take this 2 more times on either side, spending as long as you want. Breathing into whatever you're feeling. If you've never done this before, but you like it, cool. If you don't like it, it's over soon. And after your third one, you can take whatever you need to come back into your downward facing dog. Cool. And then once we're all in our down dogs, you can pedal it out. Take one deep inhale and exhale into this dog. And then lift your left leg up, down dog split. Toes facing down, bend the left knee, open up the left hip, take circles to the right and left with your left knee. Have a slight bend in your right knee. Have your shoulders in one line. And extend your left leg, keep your hip open, and then bring your left knee behind your left wrist for pigeon on this side. Set yourself up in whatever way feels comfortable. Both sides are different, so you might need a different setup under your hips for this side. And then once you're there, you can set up the blocks in any way that you want. I like bringing them on the lowest height, one in line with my shin and one out right in front of me. And then you can walk yourself down. The most important thing is that you have the base of the pose set up. So your hips are in one line, your knee is out to its left side. Your chest is just straight out from your hips. It doesn't matter how far down you go at all. You could be up here and you're still getting the point of the pose. You can let your feet relax here. Let your shoulders, let your forehead relax. Take a deep inhale. And then exhale, imagine everything is flopping down onto the ground. Take a few more cycles of breath. You can rock your forehead side to side to give it a massage, if that feels nice. And exhaling, walking your hands back up towards your hips. Move anything out away from the mat and come into your figure 4 pinwheel thing. Both knees have like 90-degree angles in them. And wow, this hurts my right hip a lot more than my left one. So it's hard to stay here, but flex both feet and then walk your hands over to the left side. Going down as far as you like, taking the twist as much as you want. And then begin to come back up and walk your hips over to the right side. Whoa. And come back through center. Take it 2 more times on your own pace. And just keep breathing. Engaging your feet. And just noticing what this twist feels like. And once you finish your last one, come back into your downward facing dog. This is your last down dog. So take whatever movement you want. Bending into the knees, lifting another leg or arm. And then let your knees come down to the ground. Sit over onto the other side you didn't sit on to before when you brought your legs out in front of you. Scoot yourself up your mat Feet strongly pressing down onto the ground. Bring your arms out in front of you and then slowly, slowly roll yourself down on your own time. No rush. If you're still in your down dog, that's totally okay. And once you get to have your back on the ground again, bring your feet underneath your knees, feet as wide as the mat for constructive rest. Place your hands on your low belly and listen to your breathing. Is it fast? Is it slow? You don't need to try to change it, just notice what's happening. We'll take a few more twists before we go into Shavasana. So bring your feet underneath your knees, hug your right knee in towards your chest, straighten out your left leg, bring it a little bit more over to the right, and then bring your right knee over to the left. So if your blocks are handy, mine are not, you can put a block underneath your right knee. Otherwise, it's fine wherever it is. Bring your right arm out to the right side. Try to keep your right shoulder on the ground. And you can look over your right shoulder to your right hand. Take a few more cycles of breath. And then coming back through center, hug your right knee in, hug your left knee in, straighten your right leg, bring it over to the left, and then cross your left knee over, twisting yourself to the right. Right hand's on top of left knee, left arm is out in a T-like shape. You're looking over your left shoulder, trying to keep the left shoulder on the ground. You can close your eyes at any time. Feet can be relaxed here. And just breathe, thinking about the inhaling, lengthening, and exhaling, twisting from when we were sitting. One more cycle of breath. Exhaling, coming back to center. Hug your left knee in, hug your right knee in. You can rock yourself from side to side, take some circles around, take a happy baby, take whatever you want before you come into a Shavasana. So whatever poses you want to take on your back, just to get whatever other little movement you want in. And then we'll come into Shavasana, letting your legs spread as wide as the mat, feet flopping out, arms coming down your sides, palms facing up. From here, I like to take a big roll of my shoulders back and down so I feel my entire back pressing onto the mat. You can try that if that might feel nice. And just notice your breath. Letting yourself rest and do nothing. Imagine you have a weighted blanket on you that's allowing you to just melt into the mat below. We'll lie here for a few minutes. So take whatever you need. Noticing where your arms and legs are placed, try to take up as much space as possible. And imagine someone's pressing on your shoulders and pressing on your hips, allowing you to ground more into the earth below. Few more breaths, few more minutes of having no commitments or anything to do. And start to bring some wiggles into your fingers and your toes, bringing movement back, bringing yourself back into the space, noticing where your mind drifted off to, and just noticing, no judgment. You can begin to make the movements a little bit bigger, coming up the leg, coming up the arm, rocking your head from side to side, eventually rolling you on to either side in a fetal position. Once you get there, take at least one deep inhale and exhale. And trying to keep your eyes closed, press yourself up into a comfortable seat, either cross-legged or in Virasana, seated on a block, or just sitting on your heels. Hands can come face up on your thighs or your knees. Shoulders roll down and back. Crown of the head is reaching towards the sky. Eyes are still closed. Thankful that we can take the time and space to move our bodies in this way. We all need it. It helps us help ourselves, which in turn helps everyone around us. So take the time that you need for yourself whenever you feel like you need it. It'll help you help everyone else, and it'll benefit everyone around you. Bring your hands to press at the center of your chest. Taking one last inhale and exhale all together. Inhaling into the nose. Hold it for a second at the top, ripening the breath. And exhale, let it out the mouth in a deep sigh. Noticing how practice felt for you today. We'll end practice with the final bow. Namaste. Yay. Namaste. That's what I should call things.